Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Neo. In this video, I'm working on my own nails, getting them done. So first thing I'm gonna do is apply my tips. I've got my favorite, the One Step Coffin tips by the two guys. They are a clear, I think they do a natural, I'm not sure, stiletto tip. And it's really nice. It doesn't have that like ballerina curve on the sides. So all you have to do is snip off the tip and you have a perfect coffin shape. I prefer a tapered square shape, so I actually cut down quite a bit to make sure that I have that shape, but I am just making sure to do a good application of these tips. I'm sizing them up appropriately, making sure that they fit sidewall to sidewall and that they're not crooked. I have crooked fingers. You can see my pointer does a little dance to the left. So it's important that I look at the knuckles of my fingers and not the fingertips to get a straight line from the finger all the way down to the length of that extension. So I'm done. I'm gonna cut them down. I have a set on my right hand that I did recently. Check out that video in the cards. It's a nude matte polygel set with encapsulated flame stickers in them. They look really cool. So I'm just trying to size them up so that they match. Oftentimes I do my nails separately and the lengths on my nails are so different. But I'm just making sure that they match a little bit, trimming with my straight edge clipper. I'm gonna file and blend them with my hand file and then get ready to work on this application. So after doing a gentle buffing with the hand file on my nails, I am just going in with my prep. This is the Mia Secret Dehydrator Primer and a thin coat of the Young Nails Protein Bond. It's what I prefer to use on myself and or clients when working with acrylics. And it just helps. I get very minimal lifting on myself and on my clients, and it just kind of works for me. Do what works for you. There's many primers out there. You can use acid primers, acid-free primers, you know, whatever works for you is how you should move. I'm going in first with a clear bead of acrylic. I love doing this, especially on myself. It just helps to protect the natural nail. You get the best adhesion from a clear acrylic because there's nothing in it, like pigments or glitters or anything like that. And it helps to give you a base so that when you go in to remove your design, you don't have to file down to that natural nail again, potentially damaging it. You just file down to that clear layer. So I'm using the Sugar and Cream monomer today. It was just in reach and I'm using it for the set with my Young Nails Core Clear acrylic, and I'm just doing a simple application down the entire length of the nail. I'm adding a bead of acrylic to the tip as well just to protect it in case I want to go back and do another design and not compromise my tip. So it's just a nice wet bead just to give it a little coating of something, nothing crazy. I'm focusing on not flooding my cuticle and or sidewall area, placing that bead and then just covering up the entire natural nail and then a little bit more for the tip. And there we go. Every nail is coated and ready for the design. So I had this in mind for a little bit now. I did a client with a special gel polish, and it just has been on my mind to kind of use it for myself. So for spring coming and Easter, I was like, let's do some nice pastel colors in this set, and I'm really happy with the way it came out. I'm starting off with this iGel Beauty acrylic called Peach Blossom. It's really, really pretty. I actually got it in a haul video that I will link for you to check out, where I swatched a ton of other sugar and cream and the red acrylics. Or was it sugar and cream and iGel Beauty acrylics? I will link that in the cards for you to check out. But Peach Blossom is a really soft kind of chalky pastel peach kind of color. It's really beautiful for spring. I can totally see myself using this with like a flower, 3D flower set. That might be a good idea to use on somebody. But I am doing a 2-color ombre with these beautiful pastel colors. Peach Blossom went on the tip, and I'm using a color called Lovely Lavender on the cuticle area. So I'm blending this uber soft pastel purple and this really pretty pastel peach together, and these colors are just giving me Easter vibes all the way. I'm being very careful, and I'm applying it in kind of like a paint-like manner. I'm not building up structure at all because I know I want to ombre, and I know I'm going to encapsulate, so I don't want too much thickness on these nails. I'm just focusing on getting good coverage in terms of color. And for the ombre, I'm just going back and forth with each color. They are light, semi-sheer pastels, so it's not very difficult to blend these. I just don't want to build up too much weight on the nail with this. So I'm applying that cuticle bead, I'm pushing it wherever it needs to go, and then I'm going to blend down over so that we get a nice blend from the purple to the pastel peach. For the other 3 nails, I'm going to be doing a French cut on these nails. So I'm applying a nude color. This is actually the Mia Secret Cover Beige. I found these cover colors by Mia Secret a few days ago, and I was just kind of like, dang, I haven't used these in so long. So we are using the Cover Beige to kind of build a nail bed for myself. I'm extending it a little bit past my natural nail bed. When doing French, I like them to be slightly rounded, almondy kind of shapes. It just elongates the finger and makes it seem a little bit more elegant. So I'm going to be massaging the product and forcing it kind of with the brush to go into that pointy almond shape. I will go in and file a little bit later, but in this case, I'm just extending my nail bed shape a little bit and making it just a little bit longer and more elegant. Right, so on the pointer finger, I'm doing the same thing. I'm applying a bead right at the cuticle. It's a bigger bead because I'm gonna extend it down the length of the nail. I'm pushing it where it needs to go, but not all the way down the length of the sidewalls. I kind of want it to taper in towards that almond shape right away. And then I'm massaging the product down to where I need it to go and then start molding it. So pushing it in towards the center with the body of the brush and kind of sculpting it down into that almond shape for the French. I will go in and file later to perfect this shape, but that's just one way to do it. You know, I'm pushing it so that also you want the point of this French cut to be centered, right? So on this finger, it was a little bit crooked to the right of the screen, but I'm pushing it with the brush. As you can see, I'm pushing it with the body of the brush, and I'm gonna go in and file to make sure that it sits in the right place as well. I'm gonna do the same thing on my thumb. The thing is, you don't have to be able to do this, I guess, nail bed application in one shot, like how I did on the two fingers. You can do it in two, and you're gonna see me do that on my thumb. So here I'm placing one bead towards the middle of my natural nail. I'm going to focus on building that nail bed shape, I guess, that almondy shape right away. I'm extending the product down as far as I want it to go, and then as you can see, I'm slowly pushing it in towards the center. Then I'm gonna go back in and work on the cuticle bead. So if you feel like you don't have enough time, or maybe your acrylic is setting a little bit faster than you need, you can do it in multiple steps. Just get the shape that you want, and then you can work on the cuticle work afterwards. After those beads have dried, I'm going in with my hand file and I'm just going to crispen up the shapes of all three of those nail beds that we applied on the nails. I want a pointy almond. I want it to be slightly round and tapered in from the side edge. So I'm just going to spend a few moments making sure it looks like that with my hand file. As you can see, I've got a very crisp nail bed section, and now it's time to fill in that tip. I'm going to be doing the same ombre that we did on the full nails, but around this French cut. So I'm going in with that lovely lavender purple. I'm being very careful because I do want to ombre it, and I'm just pressing it up against the edge of that French cut that we made. This is really cool because you don't have to be entirely clean with it. You can just file later and then you reveal that beautiful French line. But I'm just making sure not to extend that purple too far down the tip because I do want to ombre to that pastel peach a little bit later. And I'm just trying to apply both colors in like a painting manner. I don't have a lot of space to like build up strength right now, or structure. So as you can see, I'm using extremely wet beads, and I'm just trying to ombre these colors. That is my focus more than anything, because I will encapsulate these with clear acrylic later. So I don't have to worry too much about building up the structure. I just want a nice pretty blend. So you're gonna see me going back and forth with each color until it's a decent blend. After having gone in with both acrylic colors and ombre, I am going in with my sanding band. I have it at a medium to high speed, and I am just going to be smoothing out the surface of the nail. This is where I'm going to be filing around that free edge we made of that French nail bed color so that we get a nice clean cut to show the beautiful nail bed we built and that line with the purple. So this is where I'm doing that. I'm also debulking where I can. Some of the nail beds, like on the pointer finger, came up really high up off the nail, past where I would want that apex to be. So I'm just using the sanding band as well to kind of clean up the shape of that nail bed before encapsulating so it's not permanent. So this step is just to clean up that French and to debulk a tiny bit. This gel polish I got from AliExpress, and it's a speckled egg black dot gel polish. It's really, really gorgeous, and it reminded me of Easter. I used it on another client in a recent video. I will link that in the cards for you to check out, but it just really, I wanted to try it again. It's a clear gel base, but it has these black speckled, I want to say like rocks in it. They're not really glitter, they feel like rocks. And I wanted to apply that to the ombre parts of my nail. So at first I was starting with the nail brush from the bottle, but as you can see, I'm getting more base than I am the black speckles. So I ended up taking up a nail brush and just picking up the black speckles and placing them where needed. So that's basically what I'm going to be doing. I'm being very careful not to get them over that nail bed color, just placing them on the ombre colors, the purple and that pastel peach. I'm using the nail brush just because it's easier to pick up the pieces and get them where I need them to be. I'm basically doing the same thing for all of the nails wherever we see that ombre. So I'm starting off with these French nails, and as you can see, I'm literally just picking up those black pieces with this brush. It allows me, because it's a lot smaller, to kind of place the black pieces exactly where I want them to be. I'm trying not to add too many of the chunkier pieces in an area, and then I'm just spreading them around. It is a clear gel base, so I'm not worried about it changing the color of anything. And when I'm ready, I'm just going to cure in the light for a full 60 seconds. And here's what that's looking like. It's legit giving me like Cadbury egg Easter vibes. I don't know, but I was really enjoying it. Now I'm gonna go in with some clear acrylic. Now that the French cut is clean, because remember I did file it, and I've applied those glitter gel pieces or the rock, you know, speckled egg pieces, I'm just going to be clear capping them in acrylic just so that we have a smooth application. I don't want to feel that texture on my nail, and I think that this is a good way to now build up the structure, because remember when I was applying those ombre colors, I was just kind of painting them on the nail and wanted to just get the color down. Now I'm gonna clear cap for structure. And here we are after application, straight after, and it looks really good. I try my best to not mess up my shapes when applying clear acrylic, so I'm going in with my medium grit hand file, and we're just going to file these nails until I have a beautiful shape. I'm going to go in afterwards with a fine carbide bit and smooth them out and debulk wherever necessary. Some of the nails, I think my ring finger was a little bit bulky, so I'm going to spend a little bit of time there, but for the most part I'm smoothing out the surface of the nail and cleaning around the cuticle and sidewall areas. I've got my Coupa Me file out and a narrow carbide bit. This is a fine. It is not a safety, so you have to be careful if you use this kind of bit. As you can see, I'm going around from right to left around the cuticle and sidewall area, and then I'm just going back and forth and sometimes up and down over the length of the nail. I do really like these narrow bits. I feel like it gives me a little bit more control rather than the regular or extra large barrel size. And yeah, I'm just using a fine bit to smooth out the nails. The application was fairly good, but at this point I'm focusing on debulking in the appropriate areas. And because it's a fine bit, it's not going to take off too much product so that I don't remove too much, more than I need. And here we are after application. It's looking good. We are going to snap for magic, and this is what the set is looking like: clean and free of dust or debris. I think the ombre looks really cool, and the spotted dots, the speckled egg gel polish is just really, really pretty. So I've got my bling box out and my Zule bling adhesive, and we are going to be adding some AB rhinestones around the right side of the French cut lines. So I'm starting with a medium size rhinestone, and then I'm going to taper off to smaller sizes. I just thought that this was a good, nice, simple addition to give me a little bit of bling on this set without being too much. Obviously, it's really easy to get crazy with the bling. You're gonna see that happen on another finger, but for the most part, we're just using smallish kinds of rhinestones to kind of just accentuate that French line that we worked so hard for. All right, so on the ring finger, I was saying to myself that I would just, apply a tiny bit of bling. You're gonna see that it ends up not being a tiny bit, but I just can't help myself. So I've got my other rhinestone box out. This is a set. Actually, it's in my old the two guys nail tip box. I just used the container once it got empty for additional sets of rhinestones. I am using cabochons, not flatbacks, diamondbacks. I'm using crystal AB stones, crystal Swarovski stones, just pretty much anything sparkly. I'm not using metal pieces in this case or caviar beads. I'm simply using rhinestones to kind of build up a pattern that I think looks really pretty down the length of this nail. It, was supposed to be simple, but once you start adding bling, you can't really stop. So you can just watch me figure this out and just create a beautiful sparkly situation on this finger. Last thing to do is to add a glossy top coat very carefully on all of the nails, making sure to go around those rhinestones. So I'm trying my best not to get the top coat on top of those rhinestones. I'm going to clean my sidewalls and then make sure that I cure for a full 60 seconds. I cured for 60 seconds, but my focus is just to be careful around the rhinestones on all of the fingers. Here is what the set ended up looking like. The ombre is so delicate and delicious, and it reminds me of like sherbet, but for Easter. It's just really, really pretty. I really hope you like this video. Like if you like, subscribe for more. I'm really enjoying that ombre. It's just so soft and pretty. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.